like right after he got, I was elected to lower grocery prices. I was elected to make housing more affordable. That's what I'm going to do on day one. And it's day what? 30, day 25, whatever it is. And he hasn't done anything on that. He doesn't even talk about it.
You know what he?
He's
you know what?
cutting federal spending.
Mike,
he's doing a whole bunch of executive actions.
Mike, I admire, honestly, I admire the work you're trying to do here. But it's quite ironic that Trump banned, I think he's banned paper straws yesterday, and you are clutching at massive paper straws right now. Let me get to Mercedes, who's been smirking her way through this.
Guys, this is Trump on how he's going to lower inflation on Piers Morgan, guys, okay? Make sure you guys tune in here. You guys want to see this one.
Mercedes, it seems to me if the Democrats are now reduced to eggs, they've pretty much given up in the battle against Hitler, the Nazis, the fascists, and all the other ludicrous slurs that liberals have thrown at Trump for 8 years. If it seems to me, if the only battleground now is eggs, he's won.
Well, you got to remember, Joe Biden was in office for 4 years. They could not get a handle on inflation. They could not get a handle of the American people feeling the pain of the cost of living. And yes, I mean, I would say to Mike's point, it is a priority for President Trump. This needs to be one of the biggest focuses that you're going to see, especially as Congress puts together their budget reconciliation bill, as they're going to be moving towards tax cuts, as they're going to be moving to find ways to lower inflation. As anyone who knows economics, it takes time to lower the inflation, to lower the cost of living. The American people have been leaderless for 4 years under Joe Biden. It's why they rejected Joe Biden, because everything for the Democrats always boiled down to abortion. If they would bring up the...
That is very right what she's saying, guys. I agree. I agree. For 4 years, we had high inflation. All costs went up. Gas went up. Grocery stuff went up. Interest rates went up. A lot of things went up where it left a lot of Americans that couldn't afford to live in this country that we are in now. And thankfully, yeah, we have Trump now and he's here to save us. Let's keep hearing, guys.
Economy. It would end up talking about abortion or sex changes for children. And so they failed to connect to the American people. Something that President Trump has done, and as we're seeing in these most recent polls, is that they're showing a president who is focused, energetic, tough, delivering on what he's promising on. I mean, I got to tell you, it's very impressive to watch how much President Trump has been able to do in the past 4 weeks. He's re-engaged with companies. Think about just the recent investment with OpenAI and with SoftBank in terms of a $100 billion investment, Stargate here in the United States. He's bringing many more international investments back to the United States. He's engaging with the area of Latin America that was ignored by President Joe Biden, where he's been able to say, listen, we've got these criminal aliens, you got to take them back. And so when you see these really very, I think, swift actions that we're seeing at the border, where we're able to get these criminal aliens out of the United States, back to these countries, it shows that President Trump is working as quickly as he can. Because to Mike's point, there is a honeymoon period. There is a moment here where there is political capital that President Trump has at this moment in time, and he recognizes it. And it's why you're seeing the president moving so quickly on all these priorities, including ensuring that, yes, the focus has to be getting those inflation numbers down, that I'm so glad the Democrats just woke up and said, yes, let's try to do this.
Yeah. Trey, let me bring you in.
Can I jump in on that for a second, Piers?
Yeah, very quickly, yeah.
To respond? Yeah, it's what's amazing to me is that after the last couple of years where Republicans have been saying how easy it's going to be to get inflation down, that all of a sudden the minute that they control Congress and Donald Trump's in the White House, it's a hard thing. We can't get it down. It's terrible. We can't do it. Like, this is insane to me. Like, Donald Trump repeatedly said on day one, grocery prices were going to go down, and they're not. And you want to say I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, but at the end of the day,
I'm sorry, have you seen the oil prices? Gas prices are down.
It should be about helping them retire with dignity and get a good paying job and be able to start a family. And right now, Donald Trump isn't doing that. It's a lot of circus politics. Look,
you're just Mike. I'm so sorry. You're wrong on this.
All right. You know what he is doing. You know what he is doing, because the polls clearly reflect the public approval of this. He's doing a lot of other stuff he said he'd do, and he's doing it very, very quickly. We bring in Trey Crowder. Trey, what I was struck by yesterday at the Super Bowl, a big piece of Americana. Taylor Swift, most popular pop star in America, roundly booed. Now, partly that's because obviously her boyfriend plays for one of the teams. You'd expect some booing, but it's pretty loud. And then the camera turned on Trump, and if this had been done 4 years ago, 6 years ago, he'd have been pretty well booed too, as well as some cheering. But he got almost universal cheering. The crowd kind of erupted.
Yes, sir.
As Elon Musk said, that's a real shift in vibe, shift in mood about Trump. And there's no doubt he is a lot more popular now than I think he's ever been in America. Do you accept that?
Yeah, that's probably true for now, I think, until we see how the policies work out. But the Super Bowl, I mean, I'm not that surprised by either of those reactions. I mean, it's an event where tickets are $5,000 a pop or whatever. So you mean the crowd made up of, senior VPs and dealership owners or Trump fans or whatever? I'm not, if he gets that reaction in like at a Memphis Grizzlies game or something, I would be a little more taken aback. And yeah, I mean, with Taylor, you touched on it. I mean, I'm a huge football fan. I think most of us outside of Kansas City have long since gotten tired of the Chiefs, right, and all their, referee love affair, bundle Rooski bullshit and falling bass backwards into wins all year long. And part of that Chiefs fatigue is having to see the camera crew pan to, Kelsey's girlfriend every time he catches another 3-yard button hook or whatever. People just been tired of them and their whole thing for a while now. And I'm not a Philadelphia guy, but the Birds did us a service yesterday. So
100% did us a service. Go Eagles.
If you're Taylor Swift, it's what do you do, right? If she doesn't go, she's snubbing her boyfriend. The romance is over, and it's front page news in the tabloids for 3 weeks. If she does go, everyone gets annoyed because she keeps going. It's like you can't win.
Piers, but come on. They went on a double date, like Mahomes, who I love, Patrick Mahomes and his wife, and Taylor Swift and Travis, like 2 days before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
We don't have time to go to a dinner,
I would not have done that. I
dinner
agree.
date before the Super Bowl.
No, I
Crazy.
agree. I thought that was a rare misstep where you're really a hostage to fortune if you do that. If you go out having dinner, looking like you're very relaxed and complacent, that's not a good look if you then get hammered.
No.
Let me bring in Sage. I mean, Sage, look, it doesn't mean a lot really that Trump got cheered and Taylor got booed, other than what is indisputable since the election result, and the polls all show it, is that Trump has unleashed this barrage of executive orders. Many are exactly what he said he'd get done, including banning trans athletes in women's sport, hugely popular, including what he's doing on the border, again, hugely popular.
Guys, what presidents say they're going to do in their time frame as president, Trump is doing in a time frame of weeks. This guy just came in January, and he's accomplishing a lot more things than other presidents could do. Like, come on, guys. You guys got to give him a pat in the back for this, because, man, he's doing good work.
There's a lot of stuff here which I think most Americans are nodding to. They're going, you know what? Historically, I might have been a Democrat, but I agree with this stuff. And that's where the Democrats, I think, have to be really careful about what they do next. Because if their only shtick is egg prices, they're not going to win back power.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting. I think there have been a lot of fair Democrats and liberal political analysts over the last 3 weeks. It's been only 3 weeks, by the way, Mike, since he was inaugurated. So we waited 4 years for something to be done and for some leadership to be shown, and none of that actually happened, which I think was a referendum.
Like I was just saying, guys.
To me, as far as last night here in New Orleans, I wasn't surprised either, because at the end of the day, this is a football crowd. But it is also interesting. Yes, people come from around the world. I've been in this city for too long now, 8 days. And the number of people in this very blue city that have come up to me and just said, oh my gosh, thank you, so excited. Donald Trump is making an effort. By the way, no sitting president had ever come to a Super Bowl before, which is strange, first time in history. Joe Biden wouldn't even go to the Army-Navy game, which to me sent a message as well. People just want someone who's going to make an effort, someone who's going to be understandable when they speak,
Involved.
be able to focus on the task at hand, literally and figuratively, and someone who's going to lead. And that is what has not happened over the last 4 years. Every single person I've spoken to, and it's been an honor to be there and to be at the White House last week when he signed that executive order to keep boys out of girls' sports, men out of women's sports, says the Democrats, this isn't necessarily a referendum for Trump. It was just that the Democrats took things too far, and being okay with mutilation of children and not communicating with parents in the state of California when they're talking about.
Honestly, guys, Trump did good on that one with the whole girls and that are transgenders in boys' locker rooms, or boys that are transgender in the girls' locker rooms. That's 100%. I'm glad he did that, and I'm glad Piers Morgan is talking about that with his guests here. I think that's something that we needed fixed, because if you guys have kids, I'm sure you guys don't want your daughters or sons within the same locker room with another gender. Okay? There's been so much stuff going on with like abuse, rape, etc., and we don't want that. We don't want that, guys.
Potential hormone replacement therapy, all of the things along the way that the Democrats had an opportunity to do better. To bring in the Taylor Swift situation last night, again, for the first time, we didn't have to have a bet. How many times are they going to show Taylor? I think everybody kind of caught on, and that was pre-election as well. Donald Trump, they didn't even show him on the screen when I was at the Sunday night football game with him in Pittsburgh and the New York Jets. I mean, there's been such a big turn. At the end of the day, it comes down to whether it's football or economy or a border or boys and girls sports. This shouldn't even be political for most of this stuff. Protect our girls from boys. I don't know why all of a sudden, over the last few years, there's all of a sudden trying to be an extra gender here. Stop it. Do the basic things.
Thank the Democrats.
Safe, which means containing our borders, not letting millions of illegals, hundreds of thousands of violent criminals.
Not just letting illegals and letting all these drugs in that are killing people in our economy.
Across our border. These aren't even political things. These are basic things that we as Americans have a right to.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, Mike Nellis, look, putting aside partisan party lines, you surely don't still support trans athletes in women's sport, do you?
Well, I actually want to say that I agree with Sage about something real quick, which was the election was not an endorsement of Donald Trump, but a referendum on the Democrats. And you asked why Trump's approval rating and his likability are a little bit higher now than it was 8 years ago when he first took over. Is the difference between taking over from a popular incumbent president, Barack Obama, and an unpopular incumbent in Joe Biden. I think what the Democratic Party does need to realize is the way we're talking about certain issues, the way we're advocating for certain issues is, I think, off step. Like, we're off base with the American people on what they want for border security. We're off base with what people want on a lot of other issues, and we're going to have to evaluate how we talk about them. But when it comes to like the trans athlete stuff, I mean, look, it's incredibly popular. It's also an issue that frankly just doesn't affect a lot of people.
Yeah, but what do you think of it?
It's like, hold on just a second, I'm going to get there. But Charlie Baker said that there were only like 14 total athletes, I think, in NCAA and collegiate sports that are even engaging on it. It's the type of issue that, like, it's getting outsized coverage, and I don't think it matters. But like, at the end of the day, I want to be talking about transgender issues. I'd rather be talking about things that I think are common to most.
I understand that you don't think it's an issue, but you know, if I said to you there are only 14 drug cheats, what would you say? Oh, that's fine.
I don't think that's even remotely the same. I don't think it's
hang on.
I think what I want to
hang on.
He fucking got him right there, guys. Excuse my language, but he got him right here. He got him. Listen.
Hang on.
Hang on. I want to be talking about
let me explain. Mike, let me explain.
Go ahead.
The point is, the athletes who took drugs wanted to enhance their performance illegally, wrongly, unfairly, unequally with, in those cases, illegal.
Piers Morgan got him. Listen up.
The trans athletes want to have an unfair advantage over biological women because they literally are biologically built differently because they were born as males. And so actually the analogy is correct. You're gaining an unfair, unequal advantage. And everybody, I think, now sees that. What I'm curious about is whether you, as a Democrat, can actually bring it upon yourself now that Trump has banned it, to say, you know what, he's right. It should be banned. Or whether you're still in that place of nobody cares.
I mean, truly, like, I don't care about it. Like, I just think it's the type of issue.
Is he right to ban it?
That's the problem.
I don't care. I'll let people who are smarter than me in the athletic world make those decisions with information that I don't have. It doesn't.
So you have views about absolutely everything apart from this.
And I think it's the type of thing that all the conservatives on this call love to talk about this because they have no plan to lower inflation. They have no plan to put more money in regular
people's pockets. The only thing you talked about was abortion.
So they want to talk about other stuff because it's easier for them to talk about it. It's ridiculous.
All right, so just to be clear,
Go ahead, Sage.
Just to be clear, Mike Nellis, who has a view about absolutely everything, right down to the price of eggs. You do not have a view on whether biological males should be in women's sport. I mean, come on.
I don't care. I don't. It's not.
No, it's not that. Well, it's that you don't want to say it.
Talking about it is when I'm
he doesn't want to admit to it. He does not want to admit to it. He doesn't want to admit to it. Piers Morgan got him. Checkmate.
You don't want to say it because you don't want your woke friends feeling you betrayed them.
No,
I think the Democrats, the Democrats need to, for want of a better phrase, grow a pair and actually stand up for what the American people want. then you might get
Well,
re-elected.
no, I think the only pair that's been grown is by Big Balls, who's apparently running our government right now based on the clip you ran.